The mind has a funny way of processing endings. But I must admit, it was strange to see you again. And honestly, I wasn't expecting it. When I saw you, we were in the office, and the atmosphere wasn't intimidating. It was, if anything, it was inviting. You looked different from when I last saw you. You wore a light blue shirt. Your hair was half up, half down. You asked if we could talk. And I admittedly was hesitant at first, and I kind of didn't want to. But I stayed to listen, to see and hear what you had to say. You told me how you were sorry, and you wished you believed me when I was at my worst and in the trenches. When it happened so suddenly, but also over time. As I was aware that this was a dream, I felt a weird sense of peace to hear those words come from you, even if it was just a dream. In the dream, I accepted your apology, but I told you I wouldn't forget it. I allowed you to pet my cat. You asked me if we could be friends again, and if we could walk together, if you could walk with me. I said not a chance, but I wish you well. And I turned my back. A calm and cooling sensation fell before me. I wasn't angry to see you, or hurt. I knew you were there, but I didn't wish to repair the bridges that we burned 3 years ago. I proceeded to find myself into the hallway. It was long, and it never seemed to end. The walls were painted white. The floor was a white polished tile, with tiny black spots inside of it that reminded me of cookies and cream. As you walked, your footsteps echoed and bounced off the walls. The hallway only seemed to get longer from here. That's when I saw you again. It was interesting because I thought I'd never see you again. You were in such a hurry and rushed past me while giving me a silent nod. I gave a nod in return and kept walking away calmly. You weren't meant to stay. That is the way some people are in our lives. Sometimes they're just there to teach us a lesson, to help us grow. And then you move on. Sometimes it doesn't end in a huge blow-up. Sometimes it doesn't end in a catastrophic fight. It ended because we were just simply no longer aligned. And that's okay. I knew this was just a dream. If anything, I smiled. Something inside felt at peace when we both just quietly left and never said anything. And just left it all unsaid. After all, it was just a dream. In the lobby, that's when I saw you. You wore a dark blue tailcoat and black leggings. Your hair was down to your shoulders, your bangs dipped in white. You never said anything. Your back was turned and you were slightly looking to your left. I had no interest in talking to you, and I was too calm. I walked away before you can even say a word. And then the dream faded to a glowing gold. I ended up finding myself back in the same spot that I left 2 years ago, and sort of never returned to. I looked to my left, and I looked to my right.
No, this can't be happening. Why now of all times? How did I come back here after all the trouble that he gave us all that time ago?
I breathed in deeply, and breathed out slowly. I took in the scenery around me, and was relieved when it teleported me to a field of wheat. And that's when I saw you standing there before me. You were looking down, and you were for some reason wearing that headset that you always did. The same headset I saw you wear growing up. I walked up and kept our distance at 6 feet. I didn't want you anywhere near me, even though I knew that this was just a dream. You looked up at me, and that's when I realized you never changed from that night. I wanted to yell. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell you how much I hated all the things you did to me when I was just a kid. Instead, I felt something different. It was calmer. Heavy disappointment, maybe? Or a looming disgust that I felt about you. Hatred tied in the seams, of course, looping together in an eerie embrace. But crossed my arms, burned my brows, thinking to myself, what the hell could he want now? As much as I wanted to walk away, I stayed firm in the ground before me, ready to strike, ready to defend myself. I was ready. But I wasn't ready for what you were about to tell me. Instead, you sighed and told me how much you hated me. I breathed out a sigh of relief. 4 words. I only had to say 4 words. I hate you too. Short and really not so sweet. Without hesitation. Without a second beat of my heart. And I walked away. Didn't need to say anything more. You didn't need to say anything more. I mean, what could have we said? There was nothing left to say. I felt peace. A weight lifted off my chest. The air was easier to breathe. And it felt like new life was given to me at my feet. I was content, especially knowing that it was just a dream. And then I saw you again. The girl with the blue tailcoat. She complained to me about how she lost some of my designs that I have made for her in the past. And to be truthful, I felt annoyed and a little bit violated, in a sense. But I couldn't understand why. I ignored her attempt to reach out. Ended up blocking her even in this dream. But I observed something about her profile picture in the dream, which for some reason struck to me. She wore a white musical note pattern tank top. Black leggings, black boots. Her hair was half up, half down. She's the kind to not wear makeup at all, so admittedly I found it odd when she wore a lip liner and lip gloss, and that she glued rhinestones on her face, which for some reason mimicked a clown. If anything, I pitied her. She leaned on a wooden fence, but I noticed something else. I was far in the background of this image. I wore a bright red off-the-shoulder long sleeve, a black corset to my waist, braided hair, and black leather pants as well as black boots. It reminded me of something and I couldn't understand why. It reminded me of how we were always compared to each other. Now, childishly, it infuriated me. You were perceived as one who could do no wrong. You were the sweet person. I was feared. I was also described as pretty direct, straightforward. Yet I perceived being feared better than being weak, so I allowed it to happen. But when we were compared more and more down to creativity, mannerisms, more meaningless stuff, I had to beg the question as to why. So, like a duck with water, I let it happen. But I had to remind myself, let them. And I also knew it was just a dream. But it was strange. The dream phased to the scenery inside the profile photo. It was odd. And all of our clothes changed. You wore a black sparkly crop top, a leather jacket, black leather pants, black boots, a thigh pouch. You wore a green scrunchie, specifically on your right. Golden bracelets on your left. Your hair was braided. You apologized for your behavior in the past. You told me you just wanted to feel important. I felt petty for you in the dream, but I didn't respond. I stood there 5 feet away. I wore a dark magenta sparkly tank top, straps that were rhinestone, and I wore dark blue jeans and black sparkly cowgirl boots, something that I wouldn't typically wear. I wore a purse on my left shoulder and held my phone on my right. You as well had a phone in your hands too. But I was crossing my arms. My hair was up in a high ponytail. I was waiting on something. Waiting on a car to pick me up from the bridge that I was talking to you at. Once the silver car arrived, I was getting into the passenger seat when you grabbed my arms and asked to come with me. I stayed silent, and I shut the door behind me, but remember, it was just a dream. Just a dream? That was just a dream. That was weird. Who even were they? And why do I keep seeing them in my dreams?